Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. Something that I've been kind of feeling the calling to do for several months. I'm gonna say probably 6 to 7 months. and I don't know. I just felt unsure on how I want to do this, and so I think it was just like that calling of like, just do it. That's why I'm here today recording this video. So, most of you have probably seen my tarot, and mostly I'm known for doing tarot and psychic readings, and that's only one part of who I am. One thing I been working on for several years is law of attraction and manifestation and divine feminine working with goddess energy. And there's a lot out there in the world with different people who have different experiences with manifestation and trying to make their dream life happen. And there's lots of workshops, lots of coaches, there's lots of books, and there's just so much out there. And I've tried a different variety of things along the way on in my journey with law of attraction and manifestation, and I think each technique has possibility to manifest certain things, but one thing I did notice out there's not a lot of stories. There's not a lot of like experimental videos on there of the journey along the way to get to your manifestation. And I felt called to be the guinea pig. So much to say, and come on here and talk about like what my process is, what I'm going through, what am I trying to manifest. And I wanted to be really real about what it is to manifest, and what it is like to manifest and go through things. And I also felt like this is something too for me as a journey, like a journal, to have an actual like physical video about where I am and how I got to where I'm going. Because sometimes in the midst of it all, I forget where I started. And so here I am. And I have experienced manifestation in my life. A little like short video, short story about where I began. And I think like what I really noticed, what first I noticed about manifestation, what came into me was probably where I'm living right now, my home. So I'll give a quick story about that. Like I was in university, and I was living in student housing with my family at the time, and my ex-husband, his grandmother, and my daughter. And I ran out of student funds to finish up graduating from college. I was trying to be a teacher, and I just ran out of funds. And so that meant I had to move. And I had 30 days, and I wanted to stay where I was, but there was nothing available in the town I was living in. It was a beautiful college town of Ashland, Oregon. Gorgeous place. But housing was impossible to find. And at the time, I kept thinking, I used to live here in a town about 45 minutes from Ashland. And I was wanting to live here. It's like I kept thinking about this place because it was my very first place I lived with my ex-husband at the time, and I was just like, oh, wouldn't that be great to be back there, because it was such a beautiful place to live. It was on this beautiful piece of land. It has all these trees, and it was just gorgeous. And got along really well with the landlords at the time. And sure enough, after going through so much work and this was before I knew anything about manifestation, just kept searching and searching and searching. I was about to give up hope because there was nothing. I was spending many hours a day trying to find a place to live. My family we were facing homelessness, and while searching, I saw this place on an ad, and it was the same landlords, and it was the same place, and I contacted them, and it was such a miracle at that time, and the landlords agreed for us to come and move back here, and so here I am. I'm back at this beautiful home that I love so much. And that was my very first experience with something manifesting. And that was always something that kind of stood out in my mind of something that was miraculous. Because, like, what was the chances? And it just happened. And then I experienced, after that, I've experienced where I've had really rough divorce that worked out in my favor. And then I've manifested retreats. I manifested finding a really beautiful friend and mentor to help me with my career and psychic and an author. And just experiencing little things like that of just miraculous things that happen in manifestation. And so that's kind of where I started noticing things. I would say when I started really noticing and getting interested in manifestation, I think I was in 2020 when, of course, like, the world was just kind of falling apart, and I heard this word of what manifestation is and law of attraction, and I've kind of played around with techniques ever since. I think what really drew me in at first was affirmations, and I still use affirmations quite a bit today because I really do believe that, our mindset and the way we talk to each other shapes our reality. And so I am here now in November 2025, and I'm diving deeper into what it is to manifest. And I'm just trying a new technique it's called The Art of Manifestation. It's by Clara Barnett Reed. I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I'm sorry. I have a hearing loss, so sometimes my words get jumbled. So I am starting to do that, which is really beautiful because it's like you set an intention with some Reiki and putting that energy into the paper, and then you doodle your intention. And I had one experience which I thought was really cool. Like, one of the drawings I did, whereas I put a dragonfly in the picture, and this was the latest thing I manifested was going to an Oregon Shakespeare theater play. I went to go see The Importance of Being Earnest, and I wanted that as to be a birthday experience for me. And I went, and I knew, like, my manifestation was happening because I stopped at Lithia Park, and one of the reasons why I put a dragonfly in my drawing, I'll have to pause this afterwards and show you, is that my name, my first name, Amanda, is actually, there's a dragonfly named Amanda. And so I've always been attracted to dragonflies and dragons. And so I thought that this drawing there was supposed to be a symbol that represented you at the time. And I was at Lithia Park. We were with my daughter and my friend, and we were waiting to go see the play. And it's late in the season. This is the end of October. There's not many dragonflies around in the area, but there was something special about this one. It was like I saw it, and it was huge, and I said, "Look, there's a dragonfly," and it came towards me, and I was like, "Oh!" And then it just kind of clicked. I'm like, "Oh, the dragonfly. That was in my drawing, my doodle." And I knew like things were in play, in process, because I have to admit, like getting to that theater, I was experiencing quite a bit of crap going on. Excuse my language. In the month of October, I was in the midst of a job change. I went from full time to part time. Now I'm back to full time again. But in that midst of that in between, oh, things were just crazy. Like, how was I going to pay for bills and get things taken care of? Should I get a refund on these tickets? But I knew at that moment there's called envisioning your future self. And I knew for certain, like, who do I want to be in the future? I want to be a person who goes to plays, who goes to festivals, to go have fun and do these things. That's a sign of luxury and abundance to me. And so I kept the tickets, and I took a chance that everything would be working out. I had to trust the universe, everything was going to work out. And things have. I am now in a process where I'm back to something working out for me. I'm back to full time in my position. But it was important for me to go through that process because I learned lessons during that time, and it's caused me to really connect to who I want to be for my future self and who I want to become. And it's really connected me into the process of working with the Divine Feminine once again in a deeper level and understanding Divine Feminine archetypes. And so when I saw that dragonfly, I knew this is in play. This is in the process. This is happening. And I went to go see the play, had the time of my life. A few days later, I actually had my real birthday, and I was surrounded by women who, for the first time in many, many years, I felt celebrated and joy and warmth on my birthday. And it was a big relief for my daughter too, because it's just her and I now. And she felt a weight off her shoulders where she didn't have to be the only one who, she said she didn't feel like she had to be the only one to celebrate me on that day, which is like, well, that's really sweet too, because I'm in the process of going into empty nest stage pretty soon. You know, my daughter is going to be 18 very soon, and so an adult, and so this is a new process too of learning to have my own life, my own activities going on. I'm switching from being only focused on being a mother to someone else. And so that leads me here to my manifestation, my new manifestation. I'm going to stay here right now because I'm glowing. The glowing of becoming this future version of myself, of who I was talking about, who is experiencing her dream life. And there was, like I mentioned before, going to plays, having life, having luxury, having abundance, having good friendships, healthy friendships, and experiencing the best health in her life. And so here I am. This is what I wanted to talk about, and this is where I wanted to kind of share my journey. I just felt like there's been a shift, a rebirth for me, because this is part of the manifestation, if you haven't gotten it yet, is that there is a lot of internal work too that goes through with manifestation. And you can do it at different ways, very practically or very spiritually. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, that felt better. I had to sneeze. And so it's really about diving deep and reprogramming who you are into what reality you want. And so those are, I guess, let me break it down a little bit because I know I'm using a lot of woo-woo terms here. So reality. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so I want a reality where I just described, where I'm experiencing some luxury items, good health, happiness. I want this on a daily basis. I want to wake up loving my life. That's where I'm at. And so that requires, how do you shift your reality? And so reality is like, okay, here I am right now. And here I am right now. Yes, I have abundance. I see abundance around me. So I have like example, like most recent abundance I am dealing with is abundance of pears. And so, but I am experiencing some things I'm not really too happy about in my life. You know, even though I experienced like the wish where I'm at, physically where I'm living, I'm experiencing, it's not all a picnic here. There's things that are like maintenance problems that need to be taken care of. And there's also, I'm working at a job that is wonderful. I love what I do. It's very good. I'm doing caregiving, and it's very important work, very, helpful work, and there's definitely purpose in my work, but it's not where I want to be. It's not my dream. And so, and I'm also I don't experience my dream money situation either. And so how do I change that? Well, first it's like taking action, and setting goals and believing, definitely here in the mindset. And then I like doing the law of attraction things of like journaling, visualization, affirmations, and things like that to kind of help the process. And so that's what I kind of want to talk about. Like, here I am. And I wanted to give a really honest vlog of like, okay, here I am. This is what I'm trying to manifest. And we are moving into 2026. Even though personally for me, I think that the ball doesn't start rolling in like a New Year switch around springtime, but it's always good to use this colder months to start thinking about the change that you want to see in your life. I had to sneeze again. But it gave me a chance to pause and go grab my journal. So, let me see. It's here somewhere. I've been doing quite a few of these drawings. Mostly I do them at night to do gratitude, but there's other ones that are meant for intention setting. And this one here is, the intention was to have a symbol that represented you. And as you can see, here's the dragonfly. And it was really funny too along that trip. Like I saw 7-7 around there, and then a few days later, I wanted to really touch into my Scorpion energy. My Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio, sun rising. So, and then someone told me that I had a lot of Scorpio wisdom, and so I thought that was really cool. And it was definitely that moment really felt like it was kick-started. And it kick-started this video too. Because like I said, I felt like making a video of this kind of content for many months, but didn't know how to approach it, not really how to show up here because, you know, being very vulnerable and, you know, to be talking about manifestations and beliefs and the play with it. But I feel like manifestation is such a wonderful tool to have, and it's really cool to hear people's stories with it, and maybe talk about the different methods that are around, and being really open to say, you know, hey, this worked for me. Yeah, this one, maybe I need to try it again, or maybe it didn't work. And because there's just so much out there, so much content right now, and it's so much in our world, and it's definitely part of my world, and I wanted to just kind of really be the guinea pig and share and talk about it, and yeah, so here I am, and this is definitely a switch for me because I've seen my future self, now my now self, doing this kind of content, and so here I am. And I'm happy that I broke through that barrier. And so I will be back again and talk to you about a different method I'm working on, or another like drawing or something, whatever I have to kind of share with all of you. And I hope some of you will share too one of your manifestation stories, when you have manifested, or what you are manifesting. And so I would love to hear that. All right. Bye for now.